Shakespeare's Macbeth, retold by Holt High School's Mrs. George and her third hour.
Act 1, Scene 1. The witches make plans in the thunder and lightning to meet up again after the battle and confront Macbeth.
The three witches are sending Macbeth confusing messages. The three witches tell Macbeth about the fortune he will have. The witches speak to Macbeth telling him that he will be Thane of Cawdor, even though Macbeth doesn't get crowned Thane of Cawdor. The witches also tell Macbeth that he will become king. Banquo does not believe the witches and starts asking questions about his future. The three witches don't answer Banquo's questions, and then the three witches vanish. Ross and Angus enter the scene telling Macbeth the news of him becoming Thane of Cawdor. Banquo and Macbeth are astonished that the witches were so right.
Scene 5 of Act 1 starts with Lady Macbeth reading a letter from her husband Macbeth. The letter is basically saying that he met three witches that told him his future of being king. She is thinking of all the possible ways to make it happen faster. She comes up with the killing of King Duncan. When Macbeth arrives to the castle, she tells him about her thoughts, and the only way of pulling it off is if he can keep his composure.
King Duncan arrives at Macbeth's castle and is greeted by Lady Macbeth, who kneels before him. She welcomes him into their home, and King Duncan requests to see Macbeth, stating that he loves him dearly.
Macbeth knows that killing Duncan will condemn him to hell, and he knows that it's morally wrong. Everyone will know what he's done. Macbeth tries to tell Lady Macbeth they won't continue talking about the murder they're planning, but Lady Macbeth convinces him they need to. Macbeth isn't very confident about their endeavor, but Lady Macbeth tells him, "But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail." She then tells Macbeth of how they will kill Duncan. They tell of how they will frame the guards and how they will show their fake sorrow. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Macbeth sees a bloody dagger floating in the darkness. He tries to grab it, but realizes it is only an apparition. His mind is already playing tricks on him. He is imagining it because his conscience is uneasy because he is about to go and kill King Duncan. And as the bell rings, he takes it as a sign for Duncan being summoned to heaven or to hell, and goes and does the deed.
Lady Macbeth stands alone in their castle, awaiting the news of the murder. She had drugged the guards and claimed she'd kill Duncan herself if he didn't resemble her father. Macbeth enters with bloody hands, stammering nervously because he heard voices while he was in the act. Lady Macbeth tells him not to think about it. She tries to help him focus and frame the guards, but he is too disturbed to do it himself, so she grabbed the daggers. They hear a knock on their door and slip Macbeth into bed to look like he just awoke. Macbeth already regrets killing Duncan.
Act 2, Scene 3. The porter comes in the door and grumbles. Macbeth asks Macbeth if the king is awake. They head to his room. Lennox describes the storms that raged that previous night before Macduff comes running out of the room, shouting that the king has been murdered. Chaos sets in. Macbeth explains that he had killed the chamberlains out of rage. Lady Macbeth faints and is carried away. Malcolm and Donalbain whisper that they aren't safe and decide to flee.
The old man is talking to Ross about the outcomes of the killing of King Duncan. They're talking about the disobedience of the horses and the wildlife and the stranges of night. And whenever they're talking, Macduff walks in and they start talking about their suspicions of the murderer of King Duncan. When Ross asks where Duncan's body is, Macduff answers while he's saying he is going to Fife, when Ross and the old man give him their blessings and wish him luck.
In Act 3, Scene 1, Macbeth hires two murderers to kill Banquo, as he knows Banquo is the threat to Macbeth keeping the crown.
Lady Macbeth is wondering why Macbeth is still worrying. They have gained what they want. However, Macbeth is still not happy because his position is not secure. Banquo and Flance live and they are to take his throne, but Macbeth has a plan to kill them. However, he does not want to include Lady Macbeth with his plans, so he does not tell her.
Banquo and his son Fleance were taking a walk together when three murderers confronted them. They began to attack Banquo as he commanded his son Fleance to run. Banquo was killed there.
At this point, Banquo has already been murdered, but they're still having the banquet, and Banquo's ghost shows up at the banquet, but only Macbeth can see him. It makes him look even crazier than he did before.
Hecate goes in to confront the witches about how they disobeyed her and how they should have went to her instead of telling Macbeth his fortunes, and she's very angry because they always should go to her first instead of just doing it on their own. Lennox and the Lord were talking about who could have possibly killed Banquo, and that the only really conclusion they could come to was it was Fleance because of all the evidence that they had put together. And then they talk about how Macduff went to King Edward for help because he wants King Edward to form an alliance with him so they can fight Macduff so he can help bring peace back to the country. So then they ask if Macduff has come back to Scotland, and then they go to send a message to Macduff, but Macduff tells them that he is not coming back, so they get really angry and they tell him pretty much good luck.
The three witches are chanting spells and throwing ingredients into their stew. Hecate watches and compliments them. Macbeth then enters. He asks for the truth of their prophecies. They summon terrible apparitions, each of which he fears. First, to beware Macduff. Then a bloody child appears and say none born of woman shall harm Macbeth. Then a crowned child holding a tree. Then a says he is safe until Berman moves. Then a procession of 8 crowned kings walk by, the last holding a mirror. Banquo's ghost at the end of the line. Macbeth wants to know what the last vision means. The witches dance and disappear. Lennox then enters and tell him that Macduff has fled to England. Macbeth then sends murderers to capture Macduff's castle and kill Macduff's wife and children.
At the Macduff castle, Lady Macduff and Ross are talking. Lady Macduff wants to know why her husband left. Ross thinks she should trust her husband, and she did it for her own good. Once he leaves, she talks to her son, saying his father is dead, and he says he is not. All of a sudden, a messenger runs in, telling her to flee. She says she has done nothing wrong, so why run? Then murderers enter the room and stab the son, and Lady Macduff runs with the killers, chasing her.
King Duncan inquires upon the execution of Cawdor. Malcolm tells him that he is dead, and that he died as a traitor. When Macbeth walked in, the king showers him with compliments, and said that he owed Macbeth more than he had. Macbeth was happy with what he had, and was proud to have kept the kingdom safe.
In Act 5, Scene 1, a doctor and a woman are watching Lady Macbeth while she sleepwalks. They see her trying to wash her hands of blood and reenact the night of King Duncan's murder.
Macbeth is preparing for war when the doctor walks in with news on his wife. The doctor tells him that he cannot fix Lady Macbeth, and she has to do it herself.
Near Burnham Wood, Malcolm is talking to Seward about Macbeth and how he will protect the castle under their attack. Their plan is every soldier cut down branches and trees and carry it to disguise how many people they have in their army.
Macbeth hears a cry within his home and is told Lady Macbeth has died. It is assumed Lady Macbeth killed herself, but it's not entirely proven. A messenger comes and tells Macbeth that the woods have been moving towards the castle, meaning they're under attack.
Malcolm, Seward, and Macduff wish each other luck in battle, and then sound the trumpets and drums to signal the beginning of the battle.
At this point in the story, Macbeth is fleeing Macduff and his army, but is caught by young Seward, who does not recognize Macbeth. Macbeth then tells him who he is, and immediately kills him.
Macduff enters the scene to confront Macbeth. The two engage in a fight, and Macduff kills Macbeth. He leaves with his head and declares Malcolm the new king of Scotland.